I was tattooing this one girl's butt. I'm tattooing it, and all I heard is like, and I was like, it sounded like a bullet flew past or something. So I was like, what the fuck was that? And then I just got a mean ass whiff. And then I ended up getting pink eye, and then I had to go to in middle school, like, bro, they used to always bully me, bro. Like, I used to have like the fake Jordans and shit. Everybody had came and looked at my shoe, and it was an ass crack in my Jordan. So yeah, so that shit was straight out of Goodwill, bro.
InkSpired to InkSpired.
Alright guys, it's another episode of InkSpired to InkSpire. You don't know, I'm your host, Ink Surgeon, and we're here today with special guest, Baltimore Tattoo Artist Mazssz in the building.
Yeah, I appreciate you, my guy, for having me on here, bro. I'm real excited, you know.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But nothing happens before God's time.
Yeah, for sure, always.
So, yeah. So we gonna jump right into it, bro. Like, I'm interested to know, like, where you from?
Yeah, so I'm from Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah, originally. Yeah.
Born and grow
Yeah.
in Baltimore.
Yeah.
What was like growing up in Baltimore like?
It was cool. You know, I got a lot of siblings, so bonding and everything with them was cool. School was smooth, and all of that. Nothing too much I could say on it. Just a normal life.
Normal child.
Yeah, it was a little hard growing up, but yeah.
What was the hardest part of your childhood that you would say you remember?
Shit, bro. I would say just like, just life shit. Just going through life. Obstacles and stuff like that. When you're young and you're going through shit like that.
For me, I could say one of the most memorable part of like hardship that I remember is like when my parents, and not my parents, because I didn't grow up with my mother or my father. I grew up with mostly my grandmother and my aunts.
Yeah.
And one of the toughest moments when I really knew we was poor was when, like there's canned foods, like canned goods called like sardine and tin mackerel, and you have baked beans and shit. All we could see in our backyard was just tin. Tin. We ain't get like chicken that often, or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was one point I was sick of tin mackerel, bro. The fact that we eat that shit so much, like, because that's what we can afford.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, damn, like, I hate this shit.
Yeah. I know if you eat that shit now, you probably throw up.
No, I kind of got to like it again.
Oh,
so
okay.
I hated it for years.
Yeah.
And then got into like it. Because coming to America, you kind of miss it. Like, you want that type of, what would you call it? Fucking...
I know the word you're saying, but I just can't think of it.
The familiar, really.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Like
you want
flashback.
that familiar feeling again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I eat mackerel now, and it's like good shit.
Yeah,
You know
I don't think I ever had that.
It's like a little tin, man, and it's like the mackerel is like pre-cooked in like tomato sauce and tomato paste and shit like that. You just put it in the pot, you heat it up, and you mix that shit with like some onions and sweet peppers and. Yeah, it's alright, but it's poor food.
Yeah.
So that was one of the most memorable part that I'm like, damn, we poor for real. We can't eat like the steak and the chicken and the oxtails and the, Yeah, so that was part of growing up. So you say school.
Yeah, so like when I had said school, like in middle school, like, bro, they used to always bully me, bro. Like, I used to have, like, the fake Jordans and shit. I remember my mom had got me some, I think it was, like, the Game of Blue Jordans. You know what I'm talking about? I think it's, like, the 11s or some shit. And they was fake as shit. I remember I wore the class. And this other dude, he had the same pair. And he was like, oh, you got that shit? I was like, yeah, my mom got it for me. And he was like, nah, that shit look a little weird. And then everybody had came and looked at my shoe, and it was an ass crack in my Jordan. So yeah, so that shit was straight out of Goodwill, bro. That shit was fake. You
know the crazy difference about American culture from Jamaican culture and the Caribbean at large is the way y'all look at stuff and look at the authenticity of it,
Yeah.
we don't look at that shit.
Yeah,
Jamaica is like a third world country, and
Mm-hmm.
we not looking what's real or fake. We believe in what we call in Jamaica like cheap and clean. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That shit is affordable, but when you put that shit on, it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't care if that shit fake or
Yeah.
we don't really value it.
Yeah.
It's just now that social media has become so big that a lot of people are putting value on materialistic shit and saying, oh, is this real, is that fake? But the culture growing up, we didn't give a fuck if that shit was
Once
that shit looks good and that shit fresh,
yeah, for sure.
that's it, bro. Like, you know, so it's crazy how y'all culture is different. Y'all look at the authentication of everything.
Yeah, like now I feel like nowadays you get caught saying some fake shit. It's like it's it's a big ass deal. But I guess that's just over here, because like you said, over there it's not much of a difference. So
that was the only type of bullying you got, like, differently. How was you in school? Was you like more like a popular kid? Or
no, I was
trying to fit in.
No, I was real quiet. Like especially like in high school, like I was always laid back. I ain't really like talk to much people. Like I had like my friends here and there, but like I always try to just stay out the mix, like stay out the the bullshit and all. I just stayed to myself. I had my friends here and there, but for the most part, like every day I just talk to the same people. Like ate lunch with the same people and shit. And I'm still friends with all of them to this day. So
yeah, it's a crazy thing with me. The closest friends I've had to this day is still like my high school people.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because as I don't know, bro, it's like people that's coming around you brand new. Like it's hard to know who's real or who's in it for your best interest at heart and not trying to like fuck you over or get something, gain something, and drain your energy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I stick to my high school friends to this day. Bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very like timid when it comes to new people.
Yeah, because
I feel like I'm trying to step out of that too. Because it's like you gotta network, you gotta associate yourself with different type of people to actually like elevate in life.
Yeah, I agree, but I just think like nowadays people are just so weird. Like like you said, like I don't know, it's just real fishy trying meet new friends because you don't never know the intentions. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard, bro. You know, I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship for a long time.
Yeah.
And shit went sour. And you kind of get like a little time to go out and date and try to get to know new people, and how hard that fucking shit is. Yeah. Because you've been in this shit so long, you know this person. And to try to figure out somebody brand new, it's kind of like annoying. Like, so it's like, man, it's better if I go work on that shit. I already know you. And we could just fix shit and keep building on what we got.
Exactly.
You know, that's what I feel like friendships are. Like, it's better if I just keep my old friendships. Yeah. I mean,
even with, friendships, I feel like, relationships or friendships, I think it's always something that, if something happened to a certain degree, it's like you just gotta cut it straight there. Some things you could work on, but somebody do some crazy shit, and it's like, it's just best to cut that shit.
Some friendships, I've cut a lot of friendships as of lately that I've had for a long time. Bro, breaks my heart, bro. But some shit is just not passable, bro. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? When people show you a certain side of them, you gotta see it for that. Yeah. So off of schooling, so in school or as a young Mazssz, like what was you aspiring to become? Like in our school days, they bring us up in front of the class and say, what do you want to become? And you would what you're aspiring to be.
So originally, I wanted to be a real estate agent. Like, so from middle school, high school, I always wanted to go into the real estate industry. And after high school, I ended up going to real estate school. And as I was about to finish is when I started doing tattoos, and I said, fuck that shit, I'm gonna just start doing tats. So, it kind of goes into how I started doing tattoos.
So what was it that sparked your interest about real estate at that? Because it is a good venture. I see it.
Yeah, I think because when I was younger, I used to always watch like TV shows about people trying to find a new home, around the country, or like in Mexico or some shit. I used to see the houses and I was like, damn, this shit looks so fun, like touring these big ass houses, you know, and just selling to people. So yeah, I guess that interested me, and then I guess just the business overall, it just always seemed interesting to me, you know. So
now before we leave the schooling part, I want to go into something that I see happen so often, like where you go in school and you see, like you say, the niggas wearing the Jordans or whatever. Probably a dude started scamming from like high school stage and, you know, involving in certain shit, so they're able to acquire certain type of shit that you as a poor kid can't. You know, what is it that kind of like steered you, or did you even ever get involved in like wrongdoings at any point in life?
No, I never got involved in any wrongdoings. I think I was, you know, I always try to stay away from shit like that. I know that fast money not good money. You know, I know it's a high risk, but since I was a kid, I always thought about the consequences of doing shit. You know, like, you know, you could scam, you know, you could rob and do all this bad shit, and you can get paid well. But what's the risk? You know, you gotta think about the reward you getting and then the risk. You know what I'm saying? It's like the risk just don't be worth it sometimes.
Now, who did you have in your life? Because it seems like you had proper guidance.
Yeah.
As a kid, sometimes you have your own like strong hold in your mind, and no, I'm not supposed to do certain things. But you must have had some guidance from a leader figure.
Yeah, for sure. So So
who instilled those morals into you?
For sure, my mom and my older sister. You know, they always, especially my mother. She always told me right from wrong, and you know, I always listened to her and my older sister's advice, and I think that helped me to be where I am today. You know, it was a lot of shit that in my past I wanted to do, and you know, my older sister and my mom would be like, nah, blah, blah, blah. You know, they just give me their advice. Because, you know, they got a lot more years on me, so they got a lot more knowledge. And I just always listened to them, you know, and they never told me the wrong thing, you know. So I would definitely say my mom and my sister.
So what about your father? Was there like a father?
Yeah, my father was there for sure. Him too, but I was always closer with my mom. Yeah, but my father's a great man. He always told me right from wrong as well. But growing up, I was always closer with my mom, so you know, I had more of a closer bond with her, so you know.
Yeah, cause like you could see, bro, like kids from 13, 14, 15 are joining gangs, getting into all types of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very, very easy to get drawn into stuff like that.
Yeah,
especially
for sure.
When you're young.
Yeah,
you just feel like you want to fit in.
Yeah, you're not really thinking about nothing else, you know.
I definitely commend you for not going that
way. Yeah, I appreciate it, for sure.
It takes a strong mindset.
Yeah.
As a nigga to not go somewhere out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because for me, I've seen all sorts of living.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I always tell, like, even like the friends nowadays that see me moving a certain way, achieving a certain level of success, and they envy that. Like, we had the same choices, bro. We came from the same community, the same parish or whatever, and we went to the same schools. We had a choice. You chose to do what you do with your 24 hours, and I chose to do what I did with mine.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the decisions that you made that's gonna compound and put you where you at in life.
Yeah, one thing I always told myself is like, if I make this decision now, will my future self thank me? You know, or will my future self be, you know, it's just gonna help my future. I always thought long term, so I think that helped me.
And a lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah.
Bro. They just feel like decisions are just decisions.
Yeah, but
they have to understand that if you make proper decisions from young, it's gonna compound and put you at a proper stage in life.
Yeah, for sure.
You make bad decisions, it's gonna compound and put you in a fucked up predicament in life.
For sure. Yeah.
So you reap what you sow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good thing that you didn't go that route, bro. So you did say after you went to real estate school and shit, you got interested in tattoos. What was that like specific moment or specific event that happened that you was like, shit, tattoos is what I'm interested in?
Yeah, so I used to go to my homeboy Cole. He was tattooing out the house. And we had like a mutual friend. That's how I met him. So I started going to him for my tattoos. And I was going to him like every week to get a tat. And then we ended up getting close. And I started hanging out with him outside, you know, with the tattoos and shit. And then I remember just one day I was talking to him. We were just chilling in his crib. And he was like, yeah, how would you learn, you know, to do tats since you be getting them so much? I was like, shit, sure. And at this time, he was at a shop when I worked at him. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, you know, sure. So he told me what to buy and shit. You know, I probably spent like $500 on Amazon. You know, getting the basic shit. I went in and then I just found some shit off Pinterest, just threw it on my thigh. And then he just walked me through it. And we made like a little video about it when I was doing it. And then I posted it and then everybody just started hitting me up for tests, and then I just straight started on people. And then this was 3 years ago. I started tattooing 3 years ago.
So was you like interested in like, or at least like artistically driven a little bit?
Yeah, always. Like since elementary school, like art was always my favorite subject. Or like in high school when you got to pick, or like middle school too when you got to pick like the extra classes, I would always pick art. It was always art. Like I love drawing and shit. I love like dark work and all. So I remember in high school I was talking to my sister. I told her that I wanted to be a tattoo artist, but I just never thought, you know, it had happened. So I just brushed it off, you know. So yeah.
So for me, it was crazy where in high school I wanted to become an architect, man. And quickly I noticed that you need mathematics in order to become an architect. And I'm like, oh my God. But then now I'm looking back at the work of architecture and I'm like, that shit look boring as fuck. Man. I wouldn't enjoy
it's just
that
a
shit.
bunch of numbers. It
The
look like
fulfillment that I feel as a tattoo artist, I would not feel that being an artist. And then I feel like you would have to work in somebody's firm to build yourself up before you could even go freelance as an architect. So it's like working for a motherfucker, bro. I couldn't do that shit.
I think that's like the one thing. Like the biggest thing I love about tattoos is that like I'm my own boss.
Freedom.
The freedom. Like I work when I want. I can take off when I want, and I don't got nobody. You know, I don't gotta call nobody and be like, yeah, can I have all this week? So it's definitely a lot of freedom. Like making my own schedule and you know not having a boss. You know, breathing on my neck and shit. So
alright, going into tattoos. You say you had your mans that did tattoos and stuff like that. When you first bought that kit and you did your first tattoo, how did you feel about that tattoo? Was it like trash or was
no, it came out good. It came out good. So when I was doing it, you know, and I was, you know, of course the lines was a little shaky, but like for my first one, it looked cool. So I think when I had seen how it came, like I like saw my potential, and then after that is when I just started watching YouTube, like all day, all night of tattoo artists, you know, like, you know, they little walkthroughs and shit. And then just trial and error again, you know. Like
that's what it is. And once you stay consistent, then you're actually interested and passionate in learning. You're gonna grow. You get what I'm saying? Because I wanted to go on a topic where I see like a lot of people get into tattoos and they get in it for the wrong reason. Like I've seen so many dudes come to me and they'll question like the prices and they be like, how many clients you get per day? And I tell them and they be like, oh shit, you making a bag. Like, and that's what interests
that's what draws them in.
Wanting to become a tattoo artist, when if that's your interest, you're gonna fade out fast.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying? Because you don't have that burning passion for it. It's not like somebody that you loved art and this is actually something that's a fire in you. You get what I'm saying?
For sure. I completely agree. I think like even when I do a tattoo, like I'm doing a tattoo and I'll be finished it. Like I forget I'm even getting paid for it. You know, I just
because you're so consumed in the artistic part.
Yeah, for sure.
That you're not even thinking about the money.
Yeah.
And you know what else lets me know that you're truly passionate about something? You know, when you work a job. I need to get on that if you ever worked a job before. But you know, when you work a job and you're not interested in that shit. You're just doing it because you want to get paid and you probably got bills.
Yeah.
And you're just watching the time.
Yeah.
And that shit not fucking moving.
Yeah.
That's how you know you don't like something. But when you see time is flying so fucking fast, that's how you know you truly invested.
Yeah.
And it's real passion. Because by the time I go to work, I step out and the day
it's
is
like
done.
you blink. Yeah. I remember working like, so what you was gonna ask what my first job was? Yeah, so my first job was I think I was in a 10th grade of high school. I was working at McDonald's and I was just working I was working in the kitchen, you know, like making the patties and shit.
You flip some patties?
Yeah, hell yeah. I used to be back there eating everything too.
I flipped some patties in my life, man. But they used to tell us that we can't eat. And then for the first couple weeks or so, I didn't eat shit because I'm trying to be an obedient worker and shit. But then after I found out, like, that motherfuckers don't give a fuck about shit.
Yeah, no, they don't,
I just started doing whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
For sure.
Whatever I want, whenever I want.
Mm-hmm.
I take a break when I want.
Yeah.
Because they will slave you out and they have no empathy for you.
Yeah, no, they don't. As long as you come on time and you clock out and just do the work, then, you know, they don't give a fuck.
You call in and say you sick and they asking if you could make it in sick.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I was working at McDonald's. This is what I think. This day is the day that made me realize, like, I have to be my own boss one day, because when I was working there initially, I thought I was gonna be working there like, you know, long term. So I had asked, could I get off for my birthday?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, the boss was like, nah, like too many people are asking off. Like you most likely gonna have to come in. And then that just made it hit me.
She ain't even
she ain't give a fuck.
Birthday.
Immediately she was like, yeah, nah, like you probably gonna have to come in. Like she ain't give a fuck. Bro. So it hit me, like I was like, okay, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Like I think I was like 15 at the time. Mm-hmm. So that made me realize, like, I can't be 30, you know, asking like, yeah, can I get off? And they tell me no, then it's like, you know what I'm saying? So
you know what else on that job kind of motivated me to get my shit together and actually pursue my shit? Seeing the 50-something years old, the 60-something years old, still working there, mopping the floors, having to do whatever to pay their bills and make ends meet. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, damn, you damn near like fighting to stand up. Yeah. You have to be in here standing on your shit for 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that always hit me too when I was working at McDonald's. It was a worker. It was a worker in there, you know, he was mopping the floors and shit. He was like 80 years old, and it just made me think, like, if he made different decisions, you know, like back to the decisions. If he made different decisions when he was in his 20s, you know, he wouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? So I think it all comes down to decisions, like what you choose to do.
Because you have a lot of people, you have to learn to give yourself slack too. Like give yourself a break, give yourself a breather. But you also have to know when to lock in. You have a lot of young people that think, I'm young, I could fuck up now and live, party, do whatever, and not set my shit straight. And then when I'm 30, 40, I'm racing to try to catch up and pick up the pace. And I'll try to figure it out then. It's harder to figure it out then. Yeah. You learn more, like it's experiences in life that kind of hardens your mentality and your fortitude towards dealing with certain life pressures, because pressures always gonna come. Mm-hmm. But if you start experiencing them shits from an early age, your brain gets developed and conditioned to be able to take harder pressures as they come in life. Yeah. So imagine you've never faced like real pressure. because you've been living it easy or whatever, living with your parents, or you know, just living life easy and just being free, making dumb decisions. And then you try to lock in at 30, 40 and actually trying to go into like first. It's your first time paying bills. It's your first time.
Like the real world. Yeah, shit gonna hit you like a brick.
That's how a lot of people get into depression and kill themselves.
Yeah.
So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So you gotta lock in from early. But while you locking in, you gotta also understand to give yourself a breather.
Mm-hmm.
Know when to take a break. Know when to, rest your mind.
Yeah, I think that's what I got to work on now. Like I be working so much, it be feeling like I don't ever got time for myself. You know, I be feeling like I'm going mad. But I mean, I don't know. I just love tattooing so much. It's like, yeah, like I just love it so much. So like, it seems like now my whole life revolves around it. You know,
I'm in the same phase. I can't find that balance as yet to where I'm like, yeah, my shit is balanced. Like, work just have me so consumed, bro. Because I have to be thinking about the next step.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And then a lot of people don't understand that as a business owner, you have shit tenfold to worry about. Because in order for shit to work for you, you gotta market yourself. You gotta structure your business properly. You gotta do the customer service. You gotta do the work. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Every other major corporations or jobs, they have specific people that do every little stuff. You're a one-man team.
Yeah, you control everything. You know, I mean, unless
so that shit is real pressure.
Yeah, it is. You know, I was thinking about like getting an assistant, but I just feel like there's just so much trust. You know, to put into somebody, and I feel like
that's why
you could run into a lot of complications with that. You know,
that's why I haven't reach that level as yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared.
I'm scared too. Yeah.
So let's get back to the beginning stage of your tattoo career, bro, where you did your first tattoo, you felt compelled to keep going. How was it like actually like building clientele and
it was
actually getting people to trust your work? And
so when I had first started, a lot of like people that I knew was coming to me. You know, they was
naturally.
Just naturally. Family, friends. You know, friends I knew in high school and shit. They was coming to me, and you know, I ain't gonna lie, I definitely fucked a couple up. But you know, I mean, it's normal. You know, I'm just starting out. You know, but
when I tell you, it's being real, man.
Yeah.
I literally had to tell my clients yesterday because they was talking real crazy shit about another tattoo artist that they seen and wanted to go to, but they like my work more and and I'm trying to let them know, like, sometimes you want my work, but kind of not so talked down on the persons that's not there yet, because everybody starts somewhere. I remember when I was shit, like real shit. So it's like it hits me hard when I see others trash talking other tattoo artists, because that's something that I try to steer far from. Like actually like criticizing or trash talking another artist. The most I'll like do is like I'll make like a little fun, like when they really fucking up. Like you get what I'm saying? Like it's some Jamaican artists right now, and y'all need to stop this shit. Where it's okay to be a beginner, but when you being a beginner and thinking because you have that beginner title is okay to do certain things. I remember when I just started and I never was like y'all was, bro, where they doing the tattoos with they bare hand, no gloves, no little protective equipment, no cleanliness. Like it's just dirty.
I always see shit like that on Instagram.
Y'all need to stop that shit.
No.
If it's even the little blue gloves, the white gloves, because the black one looks real professional and shit, but if it's even the white gloves, man, just put on something that's clean, dog. Like, don't be just raw dogging people. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So those are the only little things I like comment on, because I remember constructive criticism is a thing. That as an artist, not just a tattoo artist, as a creative, you have to be able to take that shit. Because sometimes somebody tells you something and your ego might be hurt. But it's not far from the truth. It's probably right on the head. Like they talk and smack the truth. And you just offended because of your ego. I remember I posted a tattoo back when I just started and I was in my apartment. It was on a stool, you know, like almost like a round head stool like that.
Yeah.
The bar stools come down with 4 chairs and it has the round head. I had my client's hand on that shit like this, bro. No paper towel, no little saran wrap, nothing. Just the hand on there. And I think I had gloves. Yeah. But his shit was just not on nothing like sanitary.
Yeah, like nothing wrapped up. Yeah, just bare surface. Yeah.
And a tattoo artist commented on that shit. And he said like some hurtful shit, like that's some nasty ass shit, like, unclean. That I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was said in a harsh way. Yeah. But it was real. Yeah. And instead of, cause I typed up some shit to respond to that nigga with my ego, and I'm like, constructive criticism. Yeah. I'm in the game. I'm open to it. I'm posting shit on social media. Opinions gonna come. Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? So look, calm down. You know what I did? I bought some proper hand rests, invested the money that I was earning, bought some hand rests, bought some proper shit and saran wrap and everything, man. And I did a next tattoo and I posted that shit and I tagged him and asked him, what do you think now? Yeah. And he responded back and was like, I'm glad you took constructive criticism. Yeah, yeah. And I just kept improving from then. So that's literally what y'all gotta do, man. Like, y'all literally gotta just learn to just take the truth as what it is. Because sometimes that shit hurt. Yeah, but it's real. But it's real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like talking down on the work itself, people's work, I can't do that, bro. Because I remember when I was shit. Yeah. Like trash. You know? Another thing I want to go into, where you have the shop artists, especially professional white dudes, that be trash talking down on people like me and you and other self-taught artists that, we're scratchers and we didn't learn the right way, we're not professional tattoo artists or whatever. What do you have to say about shit like that?
I think that's just some dumb shit. I don't believe that. I don't agree with that at all. I feel like if you know what you're doing and what you're doing is good and you making people happy, I think that's all that matters. You know, I don't think it matters if like, you went to school or you didn't go to school. You know, if you know what you're doing and you're making people happy, then like who gives a shit how you got it? You know what I'm saying?
I've said it so many times. Some of the best motherfucking artists I've seen are people who self-taught. Self-taught, YouTube University. That's the university they went. That's the only schooling they got. But they are good at what they do. And some of the worst work I've seen came out of the professional shops. Coming to me for a cover-up. You get what I'm saying? For sure. So it don't matter where you learned. Once you are good at what you do, or even if you're not good yet, you're consistently learning and growing. I'm not gonna talk down on nobody, man. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean we all started somewhere, you know.
Everybody starts somewhere. Even like the doctors. I've been in the hospital, man, where my daughter is being delivered, and they have literally amateurs in the room doing shit on my wife, because they have to learn, but they ask our permissions if these practitioners could actually watch and participate and do some stuff in the delivery room, because the professional doctors are in there, yes, but they have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be the professionals of tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
They're the future right there, you know?
Yeah, so you can't look down on people because of where they are or how they learned or whatever. So that's definitely something that I've seen and had a problem with. Because a lot of times the trash talk be coming from people that's just like, yes, you good and everything, but you just so bloated in your head, you just feel like you're the shit, so you're vying to talk shit. It don't matter where I'm at, bro. I just don't feel like I should talk shit about.
Yeah, if anything, just give them advice.
Even on my TikTok, bro, sometimes it be some works that is crazy, like bad. And my followers be tagging me to like react to it or say something about it or whatever, and I just look at the tag and be like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it definitely be some tattoos that
It be
like,
some bad ones.
it be some like real bad ones.
It be some really bad.
But I think
but for me to take my phone and go in their comment section
and type some
I
shit
be feeling like it's trash, but I'ma keep it here.
Yeah. Some
Or
things
if me and you like personally just sit and discuss it.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna put it in your comment section or make a public video for my community to drag you or discourage you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it right here where we just discuss it as niggas, like, you know?
Or if anything, it don't even gotta be a comment. You could just shoot them a DM like, yo, try to improve on this shit.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? It don't gotta
actually
be
try to mentor
it don't gotta be some
uplift
mean
that.
shit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's some tattoos sometimes that I will make fun of.
Like
one that I posted the other day with the Tigger.
Oh yeah.
The lion looking like the Tigger. That shit was funny, dog. Like,
it be it'd be the worst ones, but it'd be like a beginner artist and they already try and do like a full
like
back piece.
professional.
And then
that's the problem. Like, understand your levels.
Yeah.
Understand. Because it was one point when all I did was like simple line work tattoos. Because I'm trying to perfect the line work aspect of shit. Yeah. And then it was one point where I only did like slight shading work. Because I'm trying to perfect.
Yeah, just taking it slow. Yeah,
so I'm just taking little increments, little steps. Instead of jumping the gun and doing a big ass color sleeve or super detailed work and then it come out looking like. Yeah. So just take it step by step, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got it. Yeah. So who were some tattoo artists that you saw when you was coming up that you was like, damn, trying to be like that? I fuck with this like, you know?
Yeah, my guy Kevin, he in Phoenix, Arizona. He specializes in like cover-ups and shit, but like even before I did tattoos, I was watching him because his videos were so satisfying, and I plan on going to him for like my full back, and his work just looks phenomenal. He's giving me a lot of advice too on cover-ups and stuff. That's what he specializes in, and it was definitely him. I can't think of much other artists, but I've never seen an artist with work like his. He does color, he does like I said, cover-ups and realism, but it's like his shit just looked like
crazy.
It looked like if you touched it, you would feel it. It's so textured, and it's like
I met a white dude at a thing in Virginia, a convention. That bro, his work is crazy. Yeah. Crazy. His name is DMV Tattoo Theory.
What he specializes in?
Like realism.
Oh, okay.
Like all of that shit. But he worked like a printer. Because I actually sat and watched him work. And he works like, like how the little printer shit be doing like just little details and coming up. That's how he works, like just little details. And I don't know how he be fucking seeing it. But when that shit actually come together, you see it, you like, oh my god.
Yeah, when I be seeing them stencils of like all them little dots and shit, I personally don't know how
My brain just...
like my shit just stopped working.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to be saying that shit, but
yeah, I definitely aspire to reach devil levels, man. Like,
yeah, I guess it's just a level of focus, you know.
And then tattooing is like a never-ending thing where you reach a certain level and then you want more.
Yeah, it's always another level. You know, you could never be good enough. You know,
and you have to always be open to learn.
Yeah.
A lot of things that stop a lot of people in their tracks is because they close off the opportunity to learn. They feel like they're at a certain level, and I'm complacent. I'm making the money.
Yeah.
I have the clientele, so it's cool. I don't have to grow no more. And that's how
you get too comfortable.
Yeah, you just get stagnant. Yeah. And then people are gonna notice that over time, and they're gonna go to the person that keeps growing. You get what I'm saying? So always be open to learn.
For sure.
That's
you know,
definitely.
but tattooing definitely like even with me, like, you know, I think my work look good now. But I know I could just be so much better. You know, so if I don't know, let's say for example I go to a tattoo convention or something, I'd always want, you know, other people's opinion on my work, so I can see what areas I can tighten up on, you know, what areas I can fix, because I know you can never be good enough. You know, it's like you said, it's always another level.
I remember you reached out to me, and I think you asked me to critique some work.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
Just like I explained to you. Instead of giving you like mad critique, I actually gave you more like pointers to show you that, yo, if you stay this way and you stay driven and you stay consistent, you're gonna keep growing. You get what I'm saying? So instead of talking about the work, I want to get you in the mindset of conditioning yourself to be consistent. Keep that hunger, keep that fire. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I find it hard to just critique people's work. You get what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but I find it hard to just critique your work. You get what I'm saying? I definitely noticed the growth though. The growth is definitely there. From the time I came in the DMs and answered your DMs to now, I've seen like a whole lot of growth. You get what I'm saying? And all you gotta do is just every day keep that same hunger. When you do a piece, you look at that piece for at least 15 to 20 minutes on your phone. Whatever you capture that shit on, look at it. Find the problem. Fix that shit on the next piece.
Yeah, for sure. I always do that. After all my bigger tattoos are like my quarter sleeves or whatnot. Every time I get home, I just zoom in and I just stare at it like, okay, what could I have done to make it better? You know, and it still look good. You know, I ain't fucking nobody else.
It's acceptable. To the client, that shit is bomb.
Yeah, to everybody's bomb.
But I'm gonna find
but I'm the artist, so it'd be like the little shit that ain't nobody else gonna see. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what can I do?
If you're open to critiquing yourself, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna more be open to when somebody say, you know, that shit looks fucked up right there. You're not gonna be hurt. Because probably you already fucking knew. Because you done critiqued yourself already. And you're open to others critiquing you now.
You
have to be self-aware.
Like you said with the critique, how you had his hand on the bare surface, and he said some crazy shit, and it made you tighten up. It's the same thing with that. Like if I was to show somebody a tattoo of mine, it was like, yeah, that part right there just looked like fucked up. It's gonna hit me like, oh shit, like I gotta fix this so it don't happen again. You know, because sometimes as the artist, you don't really see much, but I've personally never had that issue like where I show somebody like, oh yeah, no, you fucked that shit up, you know. So
you're growing and you're growing fast because it's clear that you have the passion for it, and you just gotta keep that passion lit. You get
for sure, always.
So going into where you're at right now as a tattoo artist, bro, I see you on the reels, I see you on the TikTok. How important is marketing for you like nowadays, and how are you finding it to market yourself? Is it easy or is it hard?
So when it comes to marketing, I don't really do much. I still do what I do when I first started. So I think with me, what got me like out there more was just consistency, like with my work. Because I don't really do anything different. But you know what I post, I just post a tag and I just put a song I like over it. You know, and I've seen a lot of growth like on TikTok. I remember I used to post tags for months, and you know I wasn't shit going viral, and then when I focused more on getting better, I felt like I got a little too comfortable. So when I focused on getting better, that's when I started, you know, all my shit started doing numbers, and then like more people in the DMV started finding out about me. More people started coming to me, and it's crazy. The beginning of last year, I think I only had like 2,000 followers, and now I'm about to hit 14. You know, I got a lot of tattoos that went viral and shit. So I would say I don't really even got no technique on my marketing. It's really just the work.
There's no wrong way or right way when it comes to marketing. And I know that because comparing how you do stuff from how I do stuff, two different results. You get what I'm saying? But what I'm doing is not wrong, and what you're not doing is not wrong. Because what happened with me is, if I post tattoos the way you post it, with just posting the tattoos and putting some music over it, it barely does anything. But if I put it in a creative way, like a skit or something, that shit does numbers.
Yeah, I seen your TikTok.
You get what I'm saying? So my method of doing it, I feel like I have a different crowd maybe. You get what I'm saying? That's the thing they appeal to. You know? That's what appeals to them. Because if I post just the raw tattoo and just some music, that shit not doing nothing, bro. But if I post a proper skit or whatever, it do some numbers and they reach some people.
Yeah, that's good that you found out, you know, that's what works for you. I feel like, you know, every artist is different, but
everybody's gonna be different. You just gotta find the formula that works for you.
Yeah, for sure.
And your audience.
Yeah, but like with what I post, how I just post a tattoo and I just post a song, I've been doing that since day one. Like since the first tattoo I ever posted on my Instagram, like I just been doing the same thing. So I haven't really been changing much. So that's how I know, you know, I've had a lot of growth recently. And then I remember last year around this time, you could hit me on a Monday and get in that same week. Now you hit me on Monday and you're like, can I come this week? I'd be like, nah, I'm booked out 2 months from now, you know. So I've definitely seen a lot of growth. And I think it's just because I just put so much focus into getting better. And every tattoo I do, I'm always trying, you know, just think about how I can make it look better than the last time, you know.
So as a tattoo artist, like the social media market, the way you market yourself now is very important.
Yeah.
You have a lot of artists even artists that I know that I've been trying to get to start doing TikToks. Because I know if they start doing, they shit gonna be booming. You know? But they look at TikTok as goofy, like childish, like.
Yeah, I thought the same shit too.
Like a soft TikTok, like, you know, and I'm just like, dog, you don't even know what you're missing.
Yeah, I get
Because
it.
before TikTok, I was booked out. But with TikTok, it's crazy the amount of clientele that you get.
Yeah, for sure.
The abundance.
Because TikTok is like, that shit just worldwide. It's worldwide. And when I posted, when a lot of my posts started going viral on TikTok, oh my God, that had the whole DMV knowing who I was. You know, it had so many people coming to me.
And then
like,
other states.
Yeah, then other states. You know, that's how you get people to fly out to you and shit like that. But a lot of I get clients every week that come and I ask them. You know, I ask all my clients, like, how did you find out about me?
And where you come from.
Yeah. They always saying TikTok. You know, so TikTok.
So the people that's actually saying it's goofy to be on TikTok playing dumbass or whatever, bro, it's ways to do content where you don't, if it don't fit your personality, a certain type of content, you don't gotta do it. but find a way where it works, where you could utilize the platform.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the stuff that I do on TikTok might not work for you. Because it works with authenticity, bro. If you're not naturally like goofy or funny or whatever, and you go on there trying to put on that fun, it's not.
Yeah, it ain't gonna
stick.
fit.
Like,
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and even if it works, how consistent can you be pretending to be goofy?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's in you to be that, be that.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in you to be more of a educational speaker, like you teach them how to do this, teach them how to do that, then find a way to make the content like that. But find a way to put your content on TikTok, because there's multiple ways you could do
For
it.
sure. Yeah, you could do. I mean, it's all about finding what works for you and what you feel comfortable with. You know, like you can't force yourself to do something.
Right.
And then when they don't do numbers, you know. So I would say it's best to just find.
Because I feel like a lot of people are struggling right now because they're not tapped into the new wave.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because it's a new wave going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Passing out business cards or sticking your shit in people's car.
Yeah, that shit don't work
That shit
no
don't
more.
work.
Yeah. Everything online now.
You gotta find
Yeah.
a new way to get in front of the people where it's interested.
Mm-hmm.
And what I find with marketing is, in the way that I market, I do indirect marketing mostly, where I get you with something that you might be interested in. Like, I hit you with a relatable post, something that millions of people in the world could relate to. And I put that shit out, and you automatically see it. You like, damn, I relate to that shit.
Yeah, then you're going to
So it hooks you.
Yeah.
And then you watch the video a couple more times, you're going to see like, oh shit, he a dope tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And you look more, because I always try to include the tattoo somehow within the content. Not directly just showing it.
Yeah.
But then it sparks your interest, like, damn, he a good tattoo artist. Let me check out his page. You start checking it out. You see like, damn, he good. And then you have more of that relatable content on here. So let me hit follow. You get what I'm saying? If you don't book today, you keep seeing me pop up in your face every day.
Eventually.
You're going to book one day.
Yeah, for sure.
You get what I'm saying? Or if you're not interested in tattoos, guess what you're going to do? Tell your friend or your family that is. I see this dude on TikTok, he's so funny, or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And then word of mouth go a long way too. You know, one client could be 100 clients. You know, like one client.
And that's why I find it so important to make sure I have a proper representation of my work going out.
Yeah.
Because you're the poster.
Yeah. All your client. So I look at my clients as like a walking portfolio. You know, because that's what it is. You know, because if somebody asks who did that, you know, they be like, oh yeah, ink surgeon did this. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna look at that, and however it look is, you know, it's gonna represent you and your work. You know, so I always try to give every tattoo my best. You know, because I know that, you know, one is permanent, and then two, they gonna be walking around with it every day. You know, so I always try to make sure that the tat is as good as I can make it look. And at the same time, I try to avoid tattoos that's just not in my interest.
Yeah, something that you're gonna just accept it for the money, but it's not gonna be motivated.
Yeah, cause
not to cut you off.
No, you good.
I had a client the other day that told me, I feel like as a tattoo artist, you need to do what the clients want and not what you feel like you want to accept or. Because I was telling her, I've seen this tattoo so many times, I'm not interested in doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like most of the times, if they're even open to you changing the design, making it unique, like, you would be good with doing it. But if you want just this, I've seen that shit 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
It's not motivating. I'm not gonna feel no fulfillment in doing it. And it's gonna drain my energy to sit and do something.
Yeah, because you're doing something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, and then at the end of the day, like, you know, me and you, we don't do it for the money. You know, so when I always make sure when I'm doing a tat, I want to have, you know, I want to enjoy it. I don't want it to feel like, oh, I can't wait for this shit to be over. You know,
you wanna when you leave work, you like, damn, I did some fire shit today.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to
look forward to posting that shit.
Yeah. You don't want to say like
feel proud.
Yeah.
And think about how many compliments they gonna get.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you gotta be interested in that shit. They feel like tattoo artists are just like somewhere you go, you just pay your money, like you're a printer.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
I'm paying to print this, so print this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your only job. You don't get no creative freedom to do nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Every time I do a tattoo, I always try to make it a little more my style. You know, I got my own shading style. Like all my work is pretty bold. You know, I like that bold work. I try to stay away from light work, but all my clients that come to me, they know this. So, you know, if they send me a tattoo and the tattoo on the picture is like real light, they know I'm going to do it bold, but they're cool with that. So I enjoy it, you know, and they know it's going to come out good. But I get some clients here and there, they come to me and like, I'm not too big on color.
Yeah.
You know, I do color here and there, but I'll get some people who send me like a full color sleeve, and I'll be like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna be honest, like I don't, you know, it's just not me.
Refer them to
I'll refer them to another, but like sometimes they'll get a little like
irritated.
Yeah, and it's like
feel like you supposed to be.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, I just don't specialize in it, you know, so I just try to be as honest as I can. You know, I don't want to do something and it's like they're being like my test dummy. You know, I'd rather just let them know, like, you know, I don't specialize in this.
Yeah.
Just go to somebody else who specializes in it. But
all right, so we going into a part where like numbing cream. This is something like it's almost like in my type of realm. You know, I have my numbing cream and stuff, but I've seen a lot of negativity when it comes to numbing cream. A lot of tattoo artists lash out against it. They don't like when their clients use it. They find that they have problems using numbing cream.
Yeah.
What's your experience using numbing cream?
So I've never really had a bad experience with using numbing cream. Like every time my client asks, you know, I'm always open to it. I've never had an issue with it, but I did have this one issue. I don't know if it was his skin or like the brand of the numbing cream, but he was getting a Virgin Mary on his inner forearm, and he put a shit ton of numbing cream on. But when he took the wrap off, his skin was like textured.
Nice.
So I didn't.
Textured as in hard?
No, not hard, but it had like little like dents in it. Like I don't know how to explain it. It was like some red bumps. I guess his skin was irritated from the numbing cream.
He probably was allergic for.
Yeah, and I didn't feel comfortable doing a tattoo because the way his skin was with all those little dents. I guess it was from the saran wrap. You know, the wrinkles and shit.
Yeah.
It would be hard trying to get some smooth shading. You know, it'll look smooth that day, but once the skin settle down, it's gonna look different. You're gonna see the little
spots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just told him to come another day, but other than that, I've never had an issue with numbing cream. I always, you know, tell my clients feel free to use it.
You know what I noticed that a lot of tattoo artists are doing when it comes to numbing cream? They're not so good at tattooing, and they use numbing cream as the scapegoat. Like, for instance, they do a tattoo on a client, and then when it heals, the color is not so bright, or the tattoo is faded or something like that. The client reaches out to them and say, yo, why is my tattoo looking like faded, or why is it looking like this right here? They blame it on the numbing. Oh, it's the numbing cream you use.
Yeah.
Instead of accepting accountability for not being good at your work. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Because for them saying like a tattoo is gonna be affected where it fucks with the color or whatever, I have all my returning clients and they keep using numbing cream. They tattoos heal beautifully. So what do you say about that?
Yeah.
It's because you're executing your work right, so it's gonna heal right.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
I think sometimes it could just be the skin. You know, like sometimes
some numbing cream brands for sure may.
Because everybody different.
I don't use
you know,
a lot of brands.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of tattoo artists use numbing cream on a whole as a scapegoat. Because you're just not that good at your work. You're going to blame the numbing cream.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
Instead of accepting accountability.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you have clients that do have reactions for you.
Mm-hmm.
You have clients that like literally might use a brand numbing cream that it's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So they have adverse reactions. Like, you get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I've never experienced none of that with none of my clients when it comes to numbing cream.
Yeah.
Because my clients use other numbing cream too, and I've never had like those issues. The most I've had is a client saying the other numbing creams they use don't work.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've never had.
Those usually be the ones that like they are quickly from quickly from CVS or Walgreens or something. But that's not really meant for tattoos. You know, you gotta get them online.
Yeah.
You know, so
They get in the ones for like the little feel bad pain
Yeah,
in your foot
yeah.
as an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to get your take on that when it comes to numbing cream, bro. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, this part of the interview we call it like tread lightly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's where we ask like probably like some taboo questions like where some people may not ask it, but it's important to ask them.
Yeah.
You know, like what do you think about tattooing like gay people, like niggas?
Tattooing gay people?
Yeah. What's your take on that?
Well, what do you mean, like in?
No, not no crazy. Areas.
Yeah, no, I don't have.
Because even for women, I don't tattoo like crazy areas.
Oh,
You get
okay,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
No, I don't have no issue with it. I have a lot of gay clients, and they all super cool. You know, I don't look at them any differently because they're gay. You know.
See, what I've seen is where a lot of tattoo artists, they might be okay with the gay female clients, especially with the dudes, but they won't be open to tattooing like a gay male.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Do you have an issue with it?
I don't have an issue.
Yeah.
I come from a culture in Jamaica where it's a homophobic culture.
Yeah.
We don't do gay at all. Like,
okay.
we kind of look down on it, the culture. But as a business owner, I understand that you're cutting off a lot of business.
Yeah.
Trying to be homophobic or whatever.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you're gay and you don't push your sexuality or anything onto me, or I have no problems with you.
Yeah.
No problem whatsoever. But if you're gonna try to like hit on me, knowing I'm a straight man, then it's a problem.
Then
You get what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Or
you gonna try to get me to tattoo some weird area.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna do
Yeah,
that.
I personally
But
never.
I'm cool too when it comes to gay people.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
I've never had an issue or a bad encounter with nobody gay. All my gay clients is cool as hell. You know, they all returning. I done did a lot of tattoos on them, and they done send me a lot of their peoples. You know, so yeah, I've never had an issue. Nor do I have an issue for real.
That's cool. That's cool. So, as a tattoo artist, also in the game, I've noticed like every tattoo artist does things differently when it comes to their mode of operation and shit like that. But like something that I've noticed is like a lot of tattoo artists drink with their clients. They permit drinking. They themselves drink, or they're under the influence of weed or whatever. How do you feel about stuff like that as a tattoo artist?
Oh no! If teach his own. I know a couple artists. They smoke before they tat, but it'll help them focus. But me, I gotta be completely sober. When I'm doing
function.
it, yeah, to function right and to make my client feel comfortable. I don't want my client come in and I'm about to do a sleep on them and I'm slurring my words and like my eyes is low. Shit. If it was me, I would just leave. Because I'm not about to get hit by that. So yeah, I've never been. I mean, teach his own. high I can understand, but being drunk that's another thing. Like being drunk, you really just, I don't know.
I feel like drunk is a no. High, it could get a pass depending on how you are when you high as a professional.
Yeah.
As you say, some people, the high makes them focus. The high gets them sharp, Some people, when they high, they stupid. They slow. They
just dumb as shit. Yeah.
So it's like, I've noticed a couple artists like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, they be dumb slow when they under the influence.
Yeah.
Like, it be a client sitting in the chair, and I do 2 tattoos, and the client's still sitting waiting on their stencil. Cause dude has to be out back smoking every couple seconds.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And I feel like that'll hurt you.
And it just makes them disoriented, just all over the place. They don't know how to just focus on the point.
Yeah.
Get the tattoo done.
Yeah, I just think also it could potentially hurt your reputation. Like if you pull up and your artists just keep taking smoke breaks and shit. I mean, if you smoke too, then that's cool. But like to people who don't smoke or like don't drink, if they just keep doing that shit, they probably get annoyed. They don't want somebody to, and of course the artists don't want them to leave and tell people like blah blah blah, kept taking smoke breaks and shit, just tag me high and shit. So I mean, I don't know, teach his own, but I know some people are don't look at that well.
It affects your demographic of people that you would potentially find like interested in tattooing.
Yeah, but like potential clients. Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like, as you say, if they smoke too and they're cool with that, it's always gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But that's the only demographic of people that is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So what about the professional people? Like some people just don't want no smoke, smell. They don't like the smell.
Yeah.
They don't want that around none of that.
Exactly.
They don't do it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be comfortable coming to you. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So you cut off like a whole niche of people over there. And a lot of times those are high paying clients too that
for
you're
sure.
cutting off. So I definitely don't do that. And another thing is the drinking. I can't permit my clients to be drinking at my knowledge because it fucks up the tattoo.
Yeah, you bleed more and
bleed a lot. It just gets you paranoid.
And sometimes, most times it make it hurt more. But also it's hard for them to
change.
Yeah, so
it'll make them hard to sit still, and it'll affect the quality overall.
So yeah, it's not permitted for me. I don't. If you take like a shot or so before the tattoo and I don't know, then that's on you. But for you to come to the shop, I've had clients come to the shop, they bring a bottle, they want me to take a shot, I'm not going to take a shot with you. I'm going to take it after I finish the tattoo. Because that's cool. But while I'm doing the tattoo, no. And I don't want you drinking while I'm tattooing. You get what I'm saying? So that's a no-no for me. Minors, tattooing minors. A lot of tattoo artists I've found where, because they just trying to get the bread. They work with the minors. You get what I'm saying? Because little high school kids coming in or whatever. What do you think about that?
So, I personally tattoo minors. If their parents are cool with it, then it's cool with me. But I get a lot of like 13, 14, 15-year-olds text me for like hand sleeves, and they just be wanting like bullshit. Like, they be wanting like the skeletons on their hands, but they be like 15, and I always advise them, I know I'll get paid, but like I advise them like, yo, just wait a little longer on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still young. Your mind from 15 to when you turn 21, it's gonna be completely different. And it's no rush.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Regret that in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I always tell them, just give it a little more time. If you want like, some shit on your arm, that's cool, but just know what you want and just approve it with your, with your peoples and.
So, you tattooing them with consent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Because
once you get the concept from the parent,
then it's a go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
and that's how I go with it.
Yeah.
You know, but just the other day I had an experience with a client where he came in Asian dude. To me, he looked like a normal age Asian dude. You know? And he came in, it was my last client for the day. I'm trying to just get that shit out of the way. Boom, do the stencil. He liked the stencil. I print the stencil. So he gets to snapping on his phone, like, you know?
Yeah.
And he like, yo, can I record? I'm like, yeah, why not? Like, you know? So he recorded and he sends it off to somebody, but the instant he send it off and it hits deliver, the person is blowing up his phone. And he like, yo, can I answer the phone? I'm like, yeah. Like, which tattoo artist tells you can't answer the phone? Like, you know? So he answers the phone and a little dude come on the phone and like, bro, you're 14, you can't be getting a tattoo. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, who was it? Was it his people's?
It was his friend, just a friend.
Oh.
And I'm in the middle of the tattoo. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he like, no, I'm not 14, I'm 15. Like, you know, like it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro. Then they talk a little bit. He tried to convince the friend that he could get a tattoo because he researched it in Maryland. They say you can get a tattoo. And I'm like, but it's with consent though. Then he go hang up the phone and ask me. I meant to ask, like, I'm underage. Could I? I'm like, I'm in the middle of the tattoo already, dude. Like, what you want?
You can't just walk out. Yeah.
So I stopped. And I'm like questioning him, like, where's his parents? He say his parents is in Asia, and he's here with guardian. So I'm like, where's the guardian? Like, you know? He like, yeah, they know I'm getting the tattoo. Da da da. I'm thinking about like just sending them home, but sending them home with an unfinished tattoo, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
It's like it's still a tattoo. So let me just finish.
You might as well just finish it.
So I finished it, and I'm like, damn.
Did the guardians or anything?
No, ain't nobody contact me, but I could get real repercussions though if they're not approving of that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I didn't get no consent.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, like, but it was unknown to me.
Yeah, but I mean it's not your fault, you know. Yeah, but I always, I always need consent, you know, because I don't want to run into an issue where I'm tattooing a minor. And then their parents don't know about it, and then they go home, and then the mom's like, who the fuck did this on you? And they didn't ask for ID, they didn't know he was a minor, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just always need consent. You know, they don't gotta, be there, but as long as I know, the mom and dad is cool with it, then, it's a go, so.
All right, so next question is like, you, a Jamaican, I'm assuming, because you could move the way you move, look the way you look, or everything, and you'd be a different nigga, a whole different nigga. But I would look at you and think like, as a Jamaican, in Jamaican term, we'd say like, you are a gal magnet, you know? Like, the girls are drawn to you. So, as a nigga, as a tattoo artist, how do you handle that?
With clients?
Yeah.
I just tell clients like, it's unprofessional for me to, have it be anything other than, like I'm your artist and you my client. I always look down on artists, like having sexual relations and shit like that with their clients.
Throwing themselves at you.
Yeah, but it
is not professional.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not, and I feel like, I got morals I go by. Like I would never in my life, mess with a client or nothing like that. I just feel like it's unprofessional, and a lot of shit could. It's like you shit
transpire.
Yeah,
like you're a professional, so that's your reputation as well. You get what I'm saying? So. For me, as I say, with me, I live and I learn. I've had my own little shares of experience with clients. You get what I'm saying? And then as shit goes sour, then you know for sure like this is not something that is good for business.
Yeah, for sure.
So you just learn from that and move forward, and now it's just literally like strictly business.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I got it, you know.
Business.
And I always had the mindset of like, don't shit where you eat. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because that's your money right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's your money.
Just gonna say, like, you know how weird it is for you to have like a personal, intimate relationship with a client, and then y'all not linking no more, but you still her artist.
Yeah.
You know, like for her to come to you, especially, it's just gonna be like, man, they not gonna be comfortable. No
Yeah,
more.
that would just be awkward. You know, that's why I say to just, you know, to all artists, I just avoid it. You know what I'm saying? It's just unprofessional.
It messes up your mind.
Yeah, it'll mess up the vibes too. You know, like you said, you know, if, for example, y'all not linking no more, then they come back because, you know, you still are an artist or whatever. It won't feel the same as if, it's not going to be the same.
I feel like when it comes to a client, it's equivalent to you having a female best friend and then going there.
Yeah.
And then thinking it could go back to friendship. It can't.
Yeah, it just will never feel the
never
same.
Be the same
you know,
again.
Yeah. So I would say to all artists, you know, just avoid that shit. You know, it's a lot more women out here, so you know, you don't gotta be fucking with your clients. You know, then at the end of the day, it's just not professional.
I feel the same.
Yeah,
I feel the same. But as I say, I had my learning experiences with that dog.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, as you mature, you know proper business etiquette. You know how to move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, reputation is very important as an artist, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like the shop settings. Is kind of like nice. The togetherness and everything is nice, but it's too many different personalities in there, and then I might have the way that I go about business professionally, and I'm not involved with no clients.
Mm-hmm.
But then another artist in the shop don't find that same value that I have.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they're fucking with their clients.
Yeah.
Then something goes sour, and then there's a big slander about that one person in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's all of a sudden associated with the shop name. And it's every artist in the shop as a collective getting praised by that shit.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of just steer away from being in group settings, like shops and shit like that.
Or like
because I know I can control my own actions.
Yeah.
And the way I do business.
Mm-hmm.
But mixing with other people, everybody gonna have a different mindset, a different...
Yeah, and then if y'all are, you know, part of the same team, you know, what one person does affects all you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all all represent the same team. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel that 100%.
So you work at a shop. What's the environment like, and what's the pros and cons you would say? You find working there.
So I work over in East Baltimore. I work in like we got our own suite in a building. There's like a lot of other businesses. A pro I would say is working with my other artists. You know, we all get along real good, and it's cool in there. You know, everybody that come in is comfortable. You know, all the clients is always comfortable. The artists are always comfortable. It's spacious. You know, it's not like all crammed. It's like 5 of us, but it's still like real spacious. The only con I would say is that it's hard to find. Like every time I find
people directions.
Yeah, because you know you gotta go in and it's 2 sets of steps, and then every time my client come in, I'll be like, yeah, it's upstairs in the back. They go all the way upstairs on the first steps. Yeah. Then they gotta come back down, go back. You know, it's just I wish it was more like okay, the shop right there. You know what I'm saying? But it's like my clients be having a hard time finding.
I find it where sometimes even when you give clear instructions to clients,
they still get lost.
It's like they don't take instructions that easily.
Yeah.
Because where I'm at, it's easy to find. And with the confirmation email, you get it. It says the address, and it says 4th floor, and you after the 4th floor, you come to L5. You know?
Yeah, so it's just straight up.
It's straightforward.
Yeah.
And people be lost.
Yeah.
They be going to the 5th floor, and I'm like, how did you get to the 5th floor?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, bro. I don't even have nothing to say to that. But I agree though. Like I tell people, like, you know, come in, go behind the desk, make a left, and come all the way up the steps. And sometimes they'll be in a whole nother building. I'm like, how the fuck did you even get in there? You know, but I mean, you know, it ain't nothing I can be mad at. It's funny, but you know, it's nothing that I get annoyed about. But
sometimes it get annoying to me.
Yeah.
You know, one thing, I'm going into the section where we call it vent. And this is where you get to get something off your chest that you're either seeing in the industry as a tattoo artist and you're tired of, something that your clients do, something that other tattoo artists do. You just want to vent about it. You could just get it off your chest.
You go first, and it'll get my mind stirring.
So for me, I'm always gonna say, man, I don't stop getting asked where you located, and it blows me.
Yeah, because it's easy to find.
It's there.
Right? Yeah.
If you come on my page, it's in my bio on my Instagram. If you go on my TikTok, it's in my bio.
Yeah.
You know? So why the question?
Yeah, I get the same thing. Yeah, actually, yeah, I agree. I think the most like annoying thing I get is probably like the questions I get, like certain questions. Like, you know, if you go on my Instagram, you can see I do tests, you know, but like every week, I always talk to my clients about this shit. It's so funny, but people are always testing me, asking me like, yo, you a tattoo artist? And they be like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, what you think? Like, no, I'm a plumber, bro. You know what I'm saying? So,
no, I'm stealing all this.
Yeah.
You know,
like, nah, I'm not a tattoo artist. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I get questions like that, or like, people will text my DM, and you know, I got all my work posted, and they'll be like, yo, can I see some of your work? And it's like,
it's on the page.
Yeah, it's on the page. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I probably just get questions like that, but nothing much that I can think of other than that.
Yeah, for me, it's mostly like the questions.
Yeah, the questions.
It's mostly the questions. Like, as a business owner with the numbing cream and stuff too, I be making a numbing cream video.
Yeah.
And I put in the video, I say verbally, what numbing cream, what's the name. I most likely say how long it lasts for. I most likely say where you could buy it, all of that. And then people are still in the comments asking the same question. Yeah. Instead of just spending 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Yeah. Watch the video. You'll get the information you're looking for. And also, you have people that will be asking like questions where it's gonna take a lot for me to type this out. So I say, go to the website link in the bio. Everything is on the website. Yeah. It's clear shot on the website. You see instructions on how to use, how long it lasts, everything. Yeah. Go on the website. You want to get all those information in the DM. That's annoying. Yeah,
I remember I saw you post something. It was like, how many times, like, I think it was, you said something like people are always asking you how to book. Right. And, you know, you got, I think you said you got a pin. Yeah, you got a pin, and you were like, what else do I got to do? To make people know that, like, how to book.
Because I think people just need to think, like, just kind of just get into the practice of using your brain a little bit more. Like, because if I'm scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, bro, and I see anybody's page that I'm interested in, when it's a business, the first thing I'm checking is clicking the page, checking the bio. And if everything that I'm looking for is not in the bio, I look if you have a website link in your bio, because most likely you are. And then if you don't, then I'm going to come in your DMs. Right. But people just go right to
the DM.
Right?
They don't read anything.
All the information is laid out there for you.
Yeah, I feel like people just don't be paying attention.
So it makes it difficult for us, and I feel like they feel like we're just waiting to get a DM on our phones. We be busy, bro.
That's another thing. Like, us as tattoo artists, we gotta go in, we gotta, actually do the tattoos. Then by the time we get off, it's probably late. Yeah, and then it's like I don't be having much time to, respond to DMs. Like a lot of my reels and shit went viral, so I'm a lot more known now. So I get a lot of messages every day. But I tattoo for like 10 hours a day. So by the time I get out the shop, it's late, and then I gotta make my stencils for the next day. And then it's like I don't got much time to, respond to messages. And I hope, none of my clients looking at me like, oh, he at the Hollywood, or like, oh, he at the bougie or some shit. But it's really just like I wish I could respond to everybody. But I already got so much shit going on top of the messages. So
clients are never, no matter how much you explain that or put it out there so they could see that you're also human.
Yeah.
They're gonna dehumanize you.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. They just want the service you offer, nigga. That's it.
Yeah. My client was just telling me about that. So I think it was last week. Last week I had a fever, and I had to reschedule like a lot of my people to May, and one of the clients that I had rescheduled, he was like, yo, you still can't just like come in, wear a mask, and just do the tat. I'm like, bro, like I can barely stand. You feel me? And it's like I'm just trying to rest. And he was like, yo, I'll pay you extra if you can still do it today.
Because they think it's about.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, like I'm not a robot. You feel me? It's like I got feelings, and I'm a human. You feel me? So
time.
Yeah, I definitely agree that people just don't be thinking about shit like that. That shit was crazy that he even asked me to come in. I just told you I got a fever. It's
it's
you still.
It's too many people that just feels like it's all about them.
Yeah.
And not you also. You get what I'm saying? And it's kind of sickening sometimes, but you understand as a business owner. You in the field.
Yeah, so I don't take it. I don't take it personally or nothing, but it's still just a little crazy to me, But I don't never take hard feelings towards it, because it's just you just gonna have to get used to it. Like you said, you just gotta deal with it. You feel me? So
I know you have friends.
Yeah.
Like your homies or just followers that they be seeing you tattooing certain females and they be like, if that was me. Like,
yeah, that's funny as shit. Yeah, I don't never really look at it like that. All my clients is just my clients.
Just work.
Yeah, it's just work. Yeah.
Like, people be thinking you be in there bricked up.
Nah, hell no.
Like, bro, I'm literally zoned in.
Yeah.
And I'm focused on the work.
Yeah, but I've heard a lot of stories about tattoo artists like that. Like, like them prairie ass artists. Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories from my clients. They went to another artist and like they got a tat, like, like right here, like on a butt or whatever. And they tattoo artists was just being like weird. This shit just this shit just weird to me. Artists like that, I don't think they should be tattooing. You know what I'm saying? But
I feel that. I always say to some of the people in the comments, like, you'd be fired in a day.
Yeah.
A tattoo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because you can't even hold your own. Like,
exactly. Yeah, it's just unprofessional.
You're going to be going to jail.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
Because if you're just in the comments acting like this, what if you was going around these people? Like,
exactly. Like, what if you actually, tattooing them? It's just.
It's a crazy part.
Yeah, for sure.
So, as a tattoo artist, bro, like, a lot of people also feel like it's not a real job. You get what I'm saying?
For real, I've never.
No, like, a lot of people will hear, like, you say you're a tattoo artist, and they just think, like, so you're not making no money, like,
I've never heard nobody.
Nowadays. Because, social media makes shit like obvious,
Yeah.
But probably nowadays it's more keen that this shit is lucrative, But it be that where they be thinking like, this is not a real
shit.
job.
How come? How come? 'Cause I think it's known that tattoo artists that are, good and popular make a lot.
Especially, I think, from my Caribbean, where I'm from, Jamaica. That was not like a prize job,
How come?
The prize jobs are like, you gotta be a teacher, a doctor,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
somebody, a lawyer, somebody up there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a tattoo artist, like, hey, you ain't doing shit. Like,
What?
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just different everywhere. You know? But this is my first time hearing about that shit. I've never heard nobody say that tattoos is not a real job. I don't really agree. You know, because there's a lot of shit that go in a tattoos. You know, a lot of shit that people don't see.
Mm-hmm.
Being a tattoo artist, for example, requires a lot of like social attention. You know, because we always talking to people. You know what I'm saying? We always answering 1,000 questions.
My body draining.
Every day. Yeah, every day. And so when I get up the shop, I really don't be feeling like talking at all. Yeah, but I mean it's normal. You know, I don't know how many people you tattoo, but having multiple people come in every day, then you gotta hear their life problems and. You gotta give them advice. Yeah, it's like you a therapist. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
so
after you hear all of that shit, you need therapy. Hearing some of that shit.
Exactly.
Some of them be tea.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I be liking to hear some of the stories, like, you know. Especially my girls be telling me the stories about the shit they niggas be doing. Y'all niggas need to do better. Y'all need to do better, dogs. Like, but some of them stories be like bad. And when you hear it, it's like you can't unhear it. And it sits on your mind like, damn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get rid of this, like. You know?
I done heard so much crazy shit, but I can't think of none off the top of my head. But it's definitely a real job to me. You know, I think it's more than a job. Like you like running a whole business. You know what I'm saying? Like you working in the shop and you working outside the shop. You know, even on your off days, like I still be testing people back, having consultations, making designs and shit. So I feel like you working all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's definitely a real job to me. What do you think about it?
It is a real job.
Yeah.
But I had to prove that shit to, especially like my father. You know.
Yeah.
Because my father never believed it could be a sustainable thing, like, But when he actually saw that it shit worked,
Yeah.
And it is actually like, he told me for the first time in I think 2022 that he's proud of me, dog, and I felt so good.
Yeah.
Because knowing how hard my father could be, that shit is hard to come out of him.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So it was definitely a moment for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, because I remember when I just told him, like, he was against it, but he seen what it could do and what it is, So he probably don't like tattoos still, but he's still
You're still proud. Yeah.
So I want to ask you to end off like your best client experience and the worst.
My best experience?
Like something just memorable that sticks out, like.
I can't think of one specific one, but one that I can think of is like whenever like seeing my client smile, once the tattoo was done, I'll never forget it.
You could see that
they genuinely happy.
Loved this.
Yeah. Like every time they go in the mirror,
fulfillment was.
It's like fulfilling for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's always memorable. That's like the kind of like the highlight of my day. If they not happy,
you don't get that. It's just
then I don't feel right.
Yeah.
Like if I do a tattoo and they be like, all right, like, wrap it up, give me help. I never had that happen, but if I was to, I feel like that was questionable. But seeing all my clients happy, I think that's all memorable. From my worst experience, I told a lot of my clients this story, but I was tattooing this one girl's butt, and I'm by her. I'm just tattooing her cheek, and I'm tattooing it, and all I hear is like, and I was like, it sounded like a bullet flew past or something. So I was like, what the fuck was that? And then I just got a mean ass whiff, and then I ended up getting pink eye, and then I had to go to
Você get pink eye from afar. Yeah, that's the word. That's it. You can't match that. Part of the face. Pink eye fun.
Yo, yeah, bro.
That's crazy.
I swear to God, bro. I had to just cut the appointment right there. I'm like, yeah, I gotta get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah,
I'll catch that part for sure.
That is definitely an experience right there.
Yeah, that was.
I've had an experience similar to that, but it wasn't no fart or whatever. But I guess she came from work where she was sweating and all of that, and she was getting a spine tattoo. But with the spine tattoos I do, it's required for them to sit with their legs spread across, like facing the chair, like, you know. So it kind of opens up the cooch. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm there and I'm tattooing her, and this fishy scent just started coming up, like, and it was mixed with like she peed and didn't wipe up well, and then sweat, and then probably a little bit of yeast infection.
Oh my God.
It was bad.
What the fuck?
Bad, and I'm in the middle of the tattoo when this started happening, so I have to finish the tattoo.
Did you say anything? I don't think I would say anything. Yeah, I wouldn't say anything.
I ain't saying nothing. I finished the tattoo, but when I walked outside and got that fresh air, bro, I felt like I was born again. It was that bad. Like, I was
my
fighting for
God.
my life.
That's your worst one.
It wasn't my worst client experience, but I'm just relating back to something that. But then my best experience was when I did a tattoo, man. It was for a client where her daughter had passed.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like the last lifeline thing for her. And it was very sentimental to her.
Mm-hmm.
And the last words of the daughter and stuff like that. And when I finished that tattooing, the lady called her sister and showed the sister, and the way the sister got emotional, and then she got emotional. And even when I was doing the tattoo, we was just talking about it, and she was just crying. And I was fucking crying with her.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was like real.
Yeah.
And then I finished the tattoo and saw how satisfied and touching it was for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn.
I know that was a
It
fulfilling
was complete
feeling, right?
for me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it
for
was
sure.
It was complete. Like, that's like the height of why we do this shit.
Yeah.
To feel that level of fulfillment, knowing that you could do this for somebody.
Yeah. And put that smile on their face.
Smile,
yeah, and it's permanent arbor, you know. They can have it for the rest of their life. Yeah.
It is everything, though,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so definitely. We could talk from now till tomorrow. Bro.
Yeah, I
we
swear.
gotta end up.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell every upcoming tattoo artist that are interested in coming in the game, just give them some game, bro. Like,
for upcoming artists, you know, the best game I could say is consistency. You know, consistency. That's everything. You know, the more consistent you are, the better you will perfect your craft. You know, we all got our own journey, so it's kind of hard to, you know, give some specific details, but I would say just, you know, never give up, consistency, and just make sure it's what you want to do, you know, because if you like 50-50 on it, you're not really going to have that, you know, like you said, that fire.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's what you really want to do, then, you know, just go ahead.
It sounds like cliche advice, bro, but it's the best
Yeah,
advice.
it's the most.
Consistency.
Yeah.
And being passionate is the key to anything at all, bro. Just keep doing that. Keep doing it. Keep wanting to grow.
Yeah, it sounds basic as shit,
but it's the
really
thing
shit
we
I
can
could say. Yeah, it's like the most simple and straight up shit I could say. Like, it's not much else I could say on that other than that. So,
Mm-hmm.
And what about you?
For me is literally cliche as fuck. Don't come in it for the women. Don't come in it for the money. Come in it because you love the art. Come in it because this is something that you're gonna feel that inner fulfillment for. You get what I'm saying? The money and everything is gonna come. Once you stay consistent, you keep growing and everything, the money is just gonna be like a plus, like a compliment. And that's literally it, man.
Good,
like,
for sure.
Because if you're in it for the women or anything like that, I don't know, that shit
You
not
won't
gonna
last
last
long.
long
Yeah,
for you.
it's not.
You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So let's do the right.
Won't catch a piece upon the camera. You know?
No, man. I'm
Say
not
it
gonna
again.
say that. The camera.
That seems so sentimental just though.
That camera is just fake. But yeah, let the people know, bro. It was good getting to know you
Yeah,
and
of
hearing
course,
your
man.
insights and everything as a tattoo artist. Of course, it's the first time we linking up and everything, but it's not gonna be the last.
Yeah,
we
for
already
sure.
talk about a lot of stuff that we want to work on and shit
Mhm.
like that. So I'm definitely gonna stay in connection and everything. But let the people know where they could book you, where they could find you, and shit like that.
Yeah, so y'all can find me on Instagram at Mazssz, MAZSSZ. Again, located in Baltimore, Maryland. You know, shout out to Insurgent for having me on here. I look for the next link of me and him have. And yeah, I'll see y'all soon.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We hope this episode left all of y'all feeling inspired. You know what I'm saying? Until then, on the next episode of InkSpired to InkSpired.
Inspired to inspire.
InkSpired to InkSpired.